So you're afraid. How to overcome your fears. We're all human, right? But here's some hacks and tips that I use to overcome fear. Well, first and foremost, if someone says they're not afraid, they're lying. They're afraid. You can't not have any fear in your life. That's impossible. We're humans. We're made to have fear. We're made to have victory. We're made to have sadness. We're made to have happiness. So when someone's like, I'm not afraid, okay, well then you're a robot. You can't have victory without fear. You need fear. The problem is when you let fear arrest you, that's a problem. But you pick up your fear, you put it in a backpack, and you march forward. It's okay to be afraid, and you should be afraid. So what do I do? Because I wake up afraid. Let me tell you, I'm a king of fear. I think the first thing is you have to acknowledge that you're afraid. I mean, even in Rocky 3, Rocky says to Adrian on the beach, you want to break me down? You want to make me say it? I'm afraid, all right? For once in my life, I'm afraid. And that's Rocky Balboa. So, yeah, you have to admit to the mirror. You don't have to tell anybody, but you have to admit to yourself that you're afraid. Hey, I'm out here in Jersey. So you got to admit that you're afraid. That's half the battle. You won right there. The other half is you have to absorb that fear. You have to, don't try to push it away. Don't try to act like it's not happening. But, again, you put it in your backpack and you march forward with your fear. And it makes the victory all the sweeter. And fear could be anything. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to World War III. It could be, I'm afraid to get a new job. I'm afraid to ask her out. I'm afraid to ask him out. I'm afraid to travel to this place. I'm afraid to go here. I'm afraid. That's, so the more you can handle your fears, the better. There's a famous fighter, and I'm going to paraphrase, but one of the best UFC mixed martial artists in the world, they asked him, George St. Pierre, they asked him, do you ever get afraid? He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, I get butterflies. But my butterflies fly in formation. Kind of matters. So I would say that, number one, admitting you have it. The other thing is, I would say, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, slowing that heart rate down. It's okay, just in through the nose, out through the mouth. We know when you breathe in through the nose, you release nitric oxide, more oxygen into the bloodstream when you breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Relax, breathe, it's okay. Another thing I think that helps with battling fear is that you are, it's okay to lose. We don't want to lose, but it's all right. It's okay to lose. Giving yourself permission to lose, to get rejected, to lose the job, to get beat. Tell yourself, I'm okay with losing. I'm not here to lose, but I'm aware that this happens, Famous General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the eve before D-Day, he wrote 2 letters. One letter congratulating the troops for a successful invasion and victory. People don't know about that other letter he wrote. And he wrote a letter of, I apologize for this defeat and the loss to Germany. We tried our best, and, thank you for your efforts, essentially. Nobody hears about that letter because defeat can happen. And it's okay to understand that it's okay to lose. We don't want to lose, but we understand, hey, this is part of life. We might not get that job. We might not get that guy. We might not get that girl. We might not get the raise. We might not get that house. We might not get that car. We might not get the win for the team. It's all right. What's not all right is not even trying. That's the problem. Granted, you want something. If you don't want it, then that's fine. Don't go for it. But, if you want something, you can't let fear stand in the way. I went to Greece last year, and I went alone, and I landed, rented a car, and I drove around Greece aimlessly with no plan. Now, I had to go meet my friends eventually, but, I flew halfway around the world on my own. I hopped in a car and willy-nilly, maybe, I knew I wanted to get lost, and I did, and I was afraid, but I did it. Yeah. So, but again, could be something simple, like I'm afraid to ask that person out, you know? So that's how you beat fear, is you welcome it, you absorb it, you become it. You don't deny it, don't push it away, don't act like it's not happening. You know, it's your fear is your fuel. Pressure makes diamonds, no fear, no victory. So again, you don't got to tell everybody you're afraid. Just, you know, we good, let's go, man. You know, and there's something magical about that, you know, owning it, you know. So yeah, that's how I get through my fears. They call it ERP, exposure response prevention. Expose yourself to that fear, meaning don't act like it's not happening. Acknowledge, hey, I'm afraid of this. You know, I'm shitting my pants. And then half of that weight's off your shoulders already. You know, just admitting it. Breathing. Planning. You know, worst case scenario. Okay? You're not going to die usually. You get rejected. Okay, cool. I'm still alive. Bullets aren't flying. You know what I mean? So, and by the way, bullets could be flying depending on your job. But you know what I mean? Like, it's hey, you know, I got this. It's okay. ERP, exposure response prevention. I'm afraid, you know, I'm afraid to public speak. So maybe I practice speaking in front of family or friends or one or two people, and I keep on doing that, you know. I'm a germaphobe. I'm afraid to grab door handles in public. So what do? I grab door handles in public. And I sit with the fear, and it's uncomfortable. But I don't have that problem anymore because I'm exposing myself to that fear. The germs, oh my God, germs. So exposure, response, prevention. So those are some tips to beat your fears. You're supposed to be afraid. Anybody who says they're not afraid is full of shit. They're lying to themselves. Because if you have no fear, you have no victory. If you have no sadness, you have no joy. You get where it's going. So what about you? How do you beat your fears? Put it in the comment section below. Tony Stoppers. I gotta go. Bye.